I want to share with you the story of my relationship with my husband and his mother, who is not very kind. Let me start by telling you about Linnea, my mother-in-law. She's not like other mothers-in-law you might hear about in stories. She's actually quite mean. Even my husband, Eric, and his whole family can't stand her. When Eric and I started dating, I noticed how much he disliked his mother. I asked him why, but he always avoided the question. Finally, one day he opened up to me. He said, "My mom isn't nice. I know you always try to see the good in people, but my mom is just bad." I was curious, so I asked him if something had happened. Eric told me a lot of things had happened. His mom was greedy and selfish. She spent too much money and it caused problems in their family. She even used Eric's and his sister's names to get credit cards when they were young. Their dad had to pay off all those debts. Linnea lived in a nice house, but it was supposed to be Eric's dad's house. She threatened to cut them off if he didn't give her the house. The money she had mostly came from child support payments, and she didn't use it to take care of Eric and his sister. Learning about Linnea's behavior towards Eric and his family broke my heart. It changed how I saw her completely. Meeting Eric's dad, Johan, made it clear that Linnea was the problem all along. She had taken advantage of Johan and caused him a lot of pain. Before Eric and I got married, I didn't see much of Linnea. But after we got married, things changed. She was constantly asking Eric for money, using emotional manipulation to get what she wanted. This made it hard for us to save money, especially when we wanted to buy a house. We worked hard and managed to save enough for a down payment on our dream home. But instead of being happy for us, Linnea became even more greedy. She even had the nerve to come to our house and act like she owned it. She would say things like, "Nice house you got here. Did you manage to charm your way into my son's pocket?" It was infuriating because Eric and I were the ones paying for the house. But Linnea felt entitled to everything, even money from her own son. She would constantly ask Eric for money, even though we had already given her some. She didn't care how we were doing financially, she just wanted more and more. And she wasn't shy about demanding it. This behavior went on for as long as I knew her. She thought everything belonged to her and didn't care about anyone else. It was frustrating and hurtful to see someone behave so selfishly, especially when it affected the people I cared about. I had my doubts that the money Eric's mother, Linnea, received from us was even enough to cover a month's worth of Starbucks coffee, which she seemed to drink all the time. Her lavish lifestyle, funded by others, didn't directly affect me because Eric took care of everything. Little did I know that soon she would become a nightmare for me. About 2 years after we got married, Eric passed away suddenly from a rare medical condition. It hit me like a ton of bricks. He was my soulmate, and the thought of continuing without him was unbearable. During this dark time, Freja and Johan, Eric's sister and father, were my pillars of strength. They helped me hold on to sanity as we grieved together. Strangely, our shared grief brought us closer, but Linnea remained distant. She attended the funeral, shedding a few tears, but she never reached out to me or offered any support. Instead, as soon as the funeral was over, she started talking about Eric's will. It was shocking to see her so focused on material possessions when we were all grieving. When I refused to entertain her demands for a share of Eric's assets, she threatened to sue me. But Eric's medical bills had consumed most of his money, and he had been supporting her financially, leaving little to no savings. I was appalled by her audacity to demand more money after everything. She claimed ownership of the house we lived in, insisting it was hers too. But Eric had made it clear to me that it belonged to both of us. I stood my ground, telling her to stay away from me. Her response was chilling. She threatened me and said she would get her fair share. After that confrontation, I returned home to find that Eric's belongings were missing. His wedding ring, which he had given me as a symbol of our love, was gone. Even our wedding album had vanished. I was devastated and panicked, realizing that someone close to us must have taken them. Then, I received a call from Linnea, and my worst suspicions were confirmed. She had taken Eric's belongings and our wedding album, using them as leverage to pressure me into giving her a share of the house. Her manipulation and cruelty knew no bounds, and it left me reeling with grief and anger. It was easy to make a spare key from Eric's house keys. I slipped in while you were busy mourning over the casket. It's a pity, you know. You'll get those items back when you sign over the house to me. Otherwise, they'll be destroyed before the police come. You can try to involve the police, but they won't get your precious items back. I was in utter disbelief after Linnea's call. She had taken all the precious things I had left of Eric. The house meant nothing to me compared to those items. But the more I thought about her behavior, the angrier I got. This woman not only ruined Eric's life, but also tried to blackmail me into giving her the house. I couldn't let her win. Immediately, I called Johan and Freja to the house and told them everything. They were shocked and appalled by her behavior. Freja wanted to confront Linnea right away, but I knew that would only lead to her destroying the items. I needed them back intact. Instead, I devised a plan. I pretended to agree to sign over the house to Linnea. When she called me to sign the papers, I took my time to read through them. Then, I gave her fake papers to sign, making her believe she was getting the house. In reality, she was signing gibberish. Linnea fell for it, signing the fake documents without reading them properly. She thought she had won, but little did she know, she had just been outsmarted. Eric's and threatened to destroy them unless I signed over the house to her. But instead of signing over the house, I gave her fake papers to sign. She thought she was accepting the house as a gift, but in reality, she was signing gibberish. Linnea was in for a big surprise when she hosted her grand party. She had spent most of her savings on the party, believing everyone would continue funding her lifestyle. She even called me to invite me, wanting to announce her new house to everyone. I played along, thanking her for returning the items without a scratch, even though she had taken them in the first place. I attended the party to show my gratitude, knowing that the truth would soon come out. During the party, Linnea raised a toast, claiming that I had graciously given her my old house as a gift. She thanked me for my sacrifice, unaware of the trap I had set for her. When I confronted her in front of everyone, revealing her true intentions, she denied everything, calling me naive. But I had evidence to prove otherwise. I revealed how she had stolen Eric's possessions and blackmailed me into signing over the house. I showed everyone the fake papers she had signed, exposing her deceit. The guests were shocked by Linnea's actions and rallied behind me. They saw her for the manipulative person she truly was. In the end, justice was served. Linnea's plan to steal my house backfired, and she was left embarrassed and humiliated in front of everyone. She learned the hard way that you can't always get away with your evil schemes. After my late husband passed away, Linnea forced me to sign away the house by blackmailing me. She threatened to destroy the precious items belonging to my late husband if I didn't comply. It was clear that Linnea had planned everything from the moment my husband passed away. When I revealed the truth to everyone at the party, there was shock and disbelief. Linnea nervously denied my claims, but Freja and Johan spoke up, confirming the truth of my words. Linnea's attempts to spin the situation only made her look more guilty. I explained how I had swapped the papers she signed, tricking her into signing over the house to me. Linnea was stunned and tried to deny it, but the evidence was clear. Her signature was on the document transferring the house to me. Realizing she had been outsmarted, Linnea collapsed in shock. Johan and Freja called for an ambulance, and Linnea was taken to the hospital for evaluation. Meanwhile, the guests at the party rallied behind me, offering words of encouragement and support. They saw through Linnea's lies and manipulation, and they were relieved that someone had stood up to her. The next day, Linnea called me multiple times, begging me to cancel the agreement and give her the house back. She even threatened legal action, but I remained firm. I reminded her that she had signed the papers willingly and that there was nothing she could do. As the month passed, I found a buyer for Linnea's house, a new couple who reminded me of my late husband and me. With the sale finalized, Linnea was forced to leave the house, and I was finally able to move on from her toxic influence. After finalizing the sale of Linnea's house and securing a good profit, Linnea erupted in anger when she found out. But when I threatened to involve the police for harassment, she quickly backed down. With no money left to deal with legal issues, she had no choice but to keep quiet. Freja later revealed that Linnea had begged them to take her in, as she was on the verge of homelessness and had no resources left. However, tired of her toxic behavior, they refused to support her again. Meanwhile, I focused on rebuilding my life. Using the proceeds from the sale of Linnea's house, I was able to pay off my own house completely. With some leftover money, I treated Johan and Freja to a well-deserved vacation. It was a small gesture of gratitude for their unwavering support. As for my love life, I don't think I'll ever date again. But knowing that I can continue living in the house I shared with my late husband brings me comfort and peace. Despite the challenges I faced, I'm grateful for the opportunity to move forward and create a new chapter in my life. In the aftermath of the ordeal with Linnea, I found myself reflecting on the journey that brought me to this point. It was a journey filled with hardship and heartache, but also with moments of resilience and triumph. As I settled back into my home, now fully paid off thanks to the proceeds from Linnea's house, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief and accomplishment. The burden of financial uncertainty that had weighed heavily on me was finally lifted, allowing me to breathe easier and focus on rebuilding my life. However, while the financial aspect was now secure, there were still emotional wounds that needed healing. The memories of Eric and the pain of his loss lingered, serving as a constant reminder of the love we shared and the life we had planned together. But with time, I found solace in those memories, cherishing them as precious moments captured in time. They became a source of strength, propelling me forward as I navigated the challenges of life without him by my side. One of the greatest blessings during this time was the unwavering support of Johan and Freja. Their presence in my life was a beacon of light in the darkness, offering comfort, companionship, and unwavering loyalty when I needed it most. Together, we embarked on a journey of healing and renewal, finding joy in the simple moments and embracing each day as a gift to be cherished. We laughed, we cried, and we leaned on each other as we navigated the ups and downs of life together. And while the scars of the past would always remain, they served as a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the resilience of the human heart. They were a reminder that no matter how dark the night may seem, there is always hope on the horizon, waiting to light our way forward. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I found myself slowly but surely finding my footing once again. I pursued hobbies and interests that brought me joy, reconnected with old friends, and embraced the beauty of life in all its complexity. And as I looked towards the future, I did so with a renewed sense of optimism and determination. While the road ahead would undoubtedly be filled with its own set of challenges, I knew that I was not alone. I had the love and support of those who mattered most, and together, we would face whatever the future held with courage and grace. As time passed, I discovered new ways to channel my energy and passion. I delved deeper into my hobbies, finding solace in creative pursuits like painting, gardening, and cooking. These activities became my sanctuary, allowing me to express myself and find peace amidst the chaos of life. But it wasn't just about finding distractions. It was about rediscovering myself and my sense of purpose. I realized that life is too short to dwell on the past or worry about the future. Instead, I focused on living in the present moment, embracing each day as an opportunity to grow, learn, and evolve. One of the most profound realizations I had during this time was the importance of self-care and self-love. I made a conscious effort to prioritize my well-being, both physically and mentally. I practiced mindfulness and meditation, learning to quiet the noise of the outside world and listen to the whispers of my own heart. I also sought out therapy and counseling, recognizing the value of professional support in navigating the complexities of grief and loss. Talking to a therapist allowed me to explore my emotions in a safe and non-judgmental space, helping me to gain clarity and perspective on my journey towards healing. But perhaps the most transformative aspect of my healing process was the act of forgiveness. I realized that holding on to anger and resentment towards Linnea only weighed me down and prevented me from moving forward. So, I made the conscious choice to let go of the past and forgive her, not for her sake, but for mine. In doing so, I liberated myself from the chains of bitterness and resentment, opening my heart to the possibility of peace and reconciliation. It wasn't easy, and there were moments when doubt and fear crept in, but I remained steadfast in my commitment to healing and growth. And as I embraced forgiveness, I found a sense of liberation and empowerment that I had never known before. I no longer allowed Linnea's actions to define me or dictate my happiness. Instead, I took control of my own destiny, reclaiming my power and charting a course towards a brighter future. Today, I stand tall and proud, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love and forgiveness. I may have faced adversity and hardship along the way, but I emerged stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. And as I look towards the horizon, I do so with hope and optimism, knowing that the best is yet to come. For in the depths of despair, I discovered the infinite capacity of the human heart to heal, grow, and thrive. And that, perhaps, is the